Paul told me about it. They were auctioning kids off in Toronto, Canada, and also Las Vegas.
I had heard about Toronto and Las Vegas through Paul, but I didn't know about the place outside.
And also, I've got the name of an investigator who attended. What's that?
I was in one of them at Las Vegas.
What were you brought there for?
I was brought in with Larry. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. Larry flew into this one. And as far as I can tell from going back, it's up by Area 51.
It was where?
It's up by Area 51.
Oh, by Roswell?
Yeah, no. Roswell's in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
This is up, was it north of Las Vegas?
Yeah, I rented
Indian Springs and...
Indian Springs, I think it is. I
You
rented
looked
it.
absolutely shocked when you got in there.
I was shocked, but I didn't dare say anything.
Oh, no.
You know,
How
they were
many kids
so...
did they auction that night?
What was there, about a dozen or so? It wasn't that
No, look at
many.
me. I wasn't
They don't
there.
have great big hues. There's about 20 kids at the most at a
Paul
time.
told me he'd been to 6 auctions, and the number varied from 6 to 36. And they were Toronto and Las Vegas. And then I have an investigator on another case who's been to Lincoln at the barn. And I had a tip on an auction at the barn one night, and I called John. He started going up and down the road. And I was told later by a source that the deputy sheriff's radio dispatcher is into the satanic movement. And then when the call went out, check on this barn, they dispersed the auction.
There's supposed to be a huge compound off of 80 West, just west of Lincoln.
Yeah.
With surveillance cameras looking so they can see who's coming, armed guards into the garden gates and some satanic type deal that the lady in Connecticut was telling us about.
How far out east of Lincoln, or west of Lincoln?
It's the ways.
Well, she said it's just west of Lincoln before, and then once you get west of Lincoln, you got what's that, Grand Black, you got nothing between there.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a hilly
Didn't you
area.
mention Norfolk? Or North?
North Platte.
North
Platte.
No, not North Platte. There's another town.
I've had survivors send me maps. You know, I'm a one-man army. I can't do
It's
these.
huge. There's a big one in Pennsylvania, and
I've got the one in Pennsylvania. I've got a map of all that.
This one's in Nebraska. And it's off I-80.
Yeah.
And there's even somebody was telling us that the first rest area or something after Lincoln is the gathering point where they pick them up, take them, and then get from that rest area to the compound. They just drop them off on the interstate. Was the first one after one of the rest areas right after Lincoln was Sandy was telling us that. Jerry found that out.
You're right. It did come from Sandy.
Yeah. She said that one of the rest areas there was a dropping point for.
It's big.
Yeah, you need to talk to Sandy.
Yeah. I think it was Sandy.
Let me get through this first. And my 3 books.
Well, I meant if you want some of her stuff for this tape, too.
Well,
Might
this is
not-
Sandy, isn't it?
Kira Dory.
Oh, I'm going to talk to Sandy. Yeah. We'll talk to her in January. Definitely going to talk to her. Well, let's get out of these people's lives.
At this auction that you went to, did the kids, who were some of the buyers?
Just there was a Jewish guy, I think 3 or 4 Middle Easterners, and a couple American business people.
Was this in Lincoln?
Las Vegas.
Oh.
When they bought the kids, what were some of the prices they went for? Do you remember?
15 to 50,000 plus.
Were they all boys, or were they boys and girls, or?
It was mainly boys, but there were a couple girls in it that were, you know, a little bit older.
Were the kids all drugged into submission by that point?
From what I can tell you.
I mean, kind of a daze, so they didn't act out or try to get away or get bizarre.
Yeah.
We talked about it, you know.
A lot.
Everybody's talked about Aquino.
The fact that his ex-wife or somebody's been, what's her name, Linda Blood's been calling and trying to.
We didn't talk about the fact that Linda's been calling me, or did call me asking me if I was sick yet. I don't know if you want to include that or not.
Sure.
Go ahead.
He's over there.
Go ahead. She's a troublemaker, but you know.
Oh, she is. Prior to my book being finished, and then shortly after it came out, I started receiving phone calls from Linda Blood, who was reportedly a former girlfriend of Michael Aquino's. And the opening of each conversation was the same. She would always ask me how I was, and I'd say fine, and she would say, "Are you sure you're not sick yet?" And I would always say that I was fine, which I was. It used to concern me a great deal as to why she would ask me that question, except that I know that some of the people involved have ways to try and make someone else ill through a chemical or something like that introduced into their life. So I was sure that she was probably reporting any and all things that I said back to Michael Aquino. I have no way of proving that, but eventually the phone calls did stop, but I did receive quite a few for a period of time.